Hi, I'm Rami and I'm building and launching 6 products in 6 months. This idea was inspired by a whole bunch of people who have taken similar challenges, and I think it looks like a lot of fun, and I think the challenge is going to solve a few problems that I've been facing recently. So, why am I doing this? Well, essentially, I've been a kind of solo indie hacker for a couple of years. I've worked on various products, and one of them has seen slight commercial success. So this product, PageFlows, is doing reasonably well for me. It kind of pays the bills, but I've struggled to really grow it much further than that. Right now, it only requires a day or two a week from me, and for the other days of the week, I've been kind of looking for future opportunities to work on. Now, during this search for future opportunities, I've made a couple of mistakes, and I've had a couple of issues that I'm trying to solve with this 6 products in 6 months challenge. Number one, I spend way too much time building products without getting them in front of people. I never used to do this. I used to just build things for a couple of weeks or a month and ship them, which is exactly what I did with PageFlows. But for some reason, somewhat recently, I end up spending way too much time working on the product, adding features, trying to improve it, trying to improve the design. And then eventually, when I start getting in front of people, I realize there are flaws. It's going to be much harder to kind of sell and grow than I'd expected. Now, this is a common mistake, us developer types make, but it's definitely a mistake I want to avoid doing again, and this challenge should help with that. Now, mistake number two. So the second, not so much mistake, but problem I've been having is overanalyzing. So while looking for my opportunities, I come up with either a strategy of how to find pain points to try to solve, or product ideas, or essentially just ideas of how to, take the next step. And when I do that, the first thing I do is start, Googling. I start researching the topic or the area. I start looking for videos related to the topic. I speak to some people who, may be interested in either the product idea or may have advice around the strategy I'm, considering going ahead with. And then, a month or two in of doing this, I end up losing motivation, finding reasons not to go ahead with whatever I was planning, and then kind of repeat that cycle all over again. I also think this challenge should definitely help me avoid doing that. When I've got one product to build in a month, I'm not really going to have any time to overanalyze. I just have to build it, get it out there, see what happens. If it takes, it takes. If it doesn't, I move on. All right, so now you understand the why behind now you understand why I'm doing this, essentially. I have some criteria that I'm going to go through, that I'm going to filter all my ideas through to try to increase my chances of success. Now, the first one's an obvious one. It has to be a product I could build at least a super minimal version of within 2 to 3 weeks, so I can kind of fit the whole launch and stuff into each month. The second one is that whatever I do launch at the end of each month has to deliver value on day one. So it can't be something that's kind of half finished that will deliver value if I add more features to it. Whatever it is, however minimal it is, when I launch it, it has to be useful for a certain set of people. Now, the third bit of criteria is that people need to be searching for keywords related to that product. This isn't a criteria I've used before, but I think it's going to be massively helpful. So there's keyword research tools that you can use to kind of see how many people search for things on Google and how competitive it would be to rank on the first page of Google for that key phrase. I use this tool called Ubersuggest. It's free, seems pretty great to me. And here you can see the kind of open source related key phrases and how many people search for them and how competitive it is. So this shows how many searches per month there are for that key phrase in the US, and these numbers show how competitive it is. The lower the number, the less competitive it is, and it goes up to 100. So see, for example, I don't know what this is, but it gets 808 searches a month and it's reasonably competitive at 35. Whereas, let's see, open source video editor, that gets a lot more searches and it's less competitive. So, that might be worth investigating. The point is, I'm going to actually do this research before going ahead with any of my ideas to make sure that people are actually interested in the area that the product's going to be related to. And I guess my final bit of criteria is that one individual person should be able to use this product without kind of having to consult their team. So video editing software, for example, one person can jump in, edit a video, and they've got use out of that product. Whereas project management tools, for example, you're not really going to get any use from it unless you convince your team to join as well, which is quite tough to do. So that kind of increases the sales cycle and makes it a harder sell, and that's kind of what I'm trying to avoid. So yeah, that's it for my criteria. I didn't want to go too hard on it. I'm not expecting any of these products to be a hit as I launch them. I'm just trying to get out of this rut. Hopefully, you'll enjoy following the journey. You might learn something out of it. I'd love to hear from you if you've ever considered doing something like this, or you've done it before. If you have any ideas, please get in touch. And yeah, if you want to follow along, just subscribe to this YouTube channel, or head to rocketgems.com and follow me on Twitter, or subscribe to my newsletter. And yeah, I look forward to speaking to you again in a month when I launch my first product.